Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Can you guys hear me okay? Please press a 1 in the chat box if you can hear me clearly. Perfect. How's it going, Warren? Always a regular. Scott, how you doing? Now, I just want to test something. Can you guys hear me better here or? Test, test. Seems was the when I switched over. All right, perfect. So there was I just keep having issues with my main mic, so I just wanted to make sure that it was acting up. So you can hear me now. Give me a 2 in the chat box if you can hear me clearly now. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I got to take a look at my mic, see what's going on because it keeps acting up. It's kind of what happens when I let my toddler in the office and she just taps and bangs on everything and anything, and you know, things just stop working out after a while once she touches it. We'll be getting started here in the next few minutes or so. And who is excited for today's call? Last week we had a great call, covered a case study on how to get rankings and some new strategies to be able to achieve that, show some case studies, a bunch of good stuff. And this week I wanted to kind of change it up and talk about the other side of the equation, which is actually getting the clients. Okay, so give me a 2 in the chat box if you're excited for today. Warren is saying last week was super, really excited for today. Perfect. Lewis is asking, how can I catch the replays? I usually send them out, if not the same night, the following morning for the most part. So if you're on my email list, that is how you can get the replays pretty much. That's, I send them out every time that we are done. So yeah, so last week was all about rankings. This week is going to be how to actually get clients, qualified clients, which is completely different than just any client, okay? Because when you're getting started with an agency, a lot of people just want to, get every and any client. And once you start doing that for, a few months or even up to a year, you start realizing that some clients aren't worth working with, okay? No matter, how little or how much they're paying you. Sometimes it's just best to break free of that. But what we're going to cover today is how to find qualified clients. And what's more exciting as well is how, them getting to pay you $500 to $1,000 for a new untapped service, okay? We're going to talk about something that really is kind of flying under the radar, but is actually producing really, really amazing results, okay? Because that's really the best scenario, in my opinion, when number one, you know how to attract qualified leads, and number two, you know how to deliver results to those clients. Because there's no worse feeling, at least for me, is bringing on a client and then having to wait 2 to 3, even 6 months to show them results. I know that's the ideal way to set expectations, is you kind of tell them, hey, look, this could take 4 or 5, even up to 6 months to see results, but we will get to that point. That's the kind of the right way that you should be setting expectations. But there's really nothing like being able to bring on a new client and literally deliver them results within days of them paying you. All right, give me a 3 in the chat box if you've experienced that before, and see the glow in your client's face when you're like, wow, I finally found someone that can truly help me grow my business. Perfect. Yeah, tons of 3s coming in. Absolutely. So that's kind of what the overview of what we're going to cover today is, how to attract qualified leads with a simple step-by-step process. And we're going to talk about a brand new untapped service that is delivering results to those clients. And specifically, we're going to talk about the 3-step lead generation strategy that is working better and faster than anything else right now. We're going to reveal that new service that gets your clients results from day one, so you look like a hero. And I can't stress that anymore, is being able to actually confidently collect your payment from your client, knowing that you can give them results. And also how you can compound this entire strategy and service so you can get recurring income coming into your agency nonstop. And how does that sound exciting to you guys? Give me a two in the chat box. Of being able to, take one client and it just automatically start compounding into, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clients, and then your recurring income starts growing. Perfect. Awesome. And of course, we're going to show you a ton of proof, a ton of case studies, a ton of testimonials to show you and to solidify that this truly does work. Okay. And also, there is an offer at the end as usual. We're not going to, sugarcoat anything. But you're going to be surprised at the price of the one for today. Okay. It's one of those special offers going on right now. So stick around for that as well, because we're going to talk about that. We're going to go in depth into the actual product, and show you guys everything that you're getting. And again, it's going to be a price that, is less than going out for, a lunch for two. So stay tuned for that, because you will definitely want to jump on that. And as always, for those of you that are on my live sessions, I always get the most value. Whether I'm presenting myself or whether I'm bringing a guest on to present, I always make sure that I bring you guys the most value. I always get you guys the most bonuses, whether I'm giving the bonuses or my special guest is giving extra bonuses. And I always give out the most freebies. So stay tuned. As you guys know, last week, I think I gave out 3 or 4 different prize packs to people that were interacting. So I'm going to be doing that again today. And of course, you get to take home some other additional cool prizes that sometimes my special guests like to give out. And the special guest that I have on here today definitely does like doing that himself. So you're going to be getting the ability to win multiple different things from multiple different angles today. So just make sure that you are paying attention, not just for the value that we are bringing, but obviously because we're going to be just diving into some very, very, very cool stuff. Okay, so give me a 3 in the chat box if you guys are ready to get started. Perfect. Awesome. Bill, Jeff, Patricia, Caston, Abby, Marquise, great to have all of you guys on here. Great to be interacting. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring in my special guest, and actually one of my favorite guys to be working with. And we've done a ton of stuff over the last few years. And many of you are going to recognize him. So you already know that the value that this guy provides to our marketplace is sky high. And he goes by the name of Brian Anderson. Okay, and Brian Anderson is one of those people that anytime you see him, you kind of think that he's with at least 2 or 3 different clones. Okay, there's no way he's just one person, because this guy does so many different things. Okay, he runs multiple 6, 7, and 8-figure businesses. He's part of the school board, I believe, in his area. And he's got 5, I think 3 or 4, maybe 5 kids. I don't know. He has a a beautiful family, and he's just everywhere. He takes on mentorees, and he builds them up into 6-figure earners. He does so many things, and I have so much respect for him, because again, it's just tough to imagine that one person can do as much as he does. And then on top of that, he's just one of those people that is out there getting results with something, and then he's able to come back, put it into a form where anyone can copy it and really run with it. Okay, so you guys are in for an amazing treat today, especially with this new service that he's offering. So Brian, whenever you're ready, feel free to jump on here and let's get this started.
No, Josh, thank you so much. 4 kids, 2 at home and 2 in college. So just 4.
Yeah.
And you're going to laugh. I just came from a school board meeting at lunch today. So with the pandemic and masks and the controversies, the job that was 2 meetings a month for about an hour and a half each is a lot more than that. So it's crazy. But thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate you, and good to chat and hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Likewise. And I tell you, you're definitely superhuman, man, with everything that you got going on.
Yeah, and like I need to give Patricia a shout out. Patricia said, "Josh, you're not a slouch either," and I think that's an understatement of the year, and I would agree with Patricia on that. So,
Thank you.
um, and I want to echo a lot of times when I buy trainings and softwares, I buy on Josh's link because honestly, just keeping it real, what you said about bonuses and value, it's absolutely true. So I know you're in the right place, and I'm grateful to be here. And Josh, I just put together some short training material, and I thought I would go through it, build the value, explain, give an example or two, and then we do some Q&A if that's cool.
That sounds perfect.
All right. Well, cool. All right. Well, guys, right? John Munns, right? They're not where I live, but okay. So what I put together, it's something brand new. I haven't done a launch. I think I partnered with the Sharks once a year ago, but other than that, it's been about 6 or 7 years. And usually I like to do like the 697 to 997, mainly because you can invest more of yourself and spend a lot more time in the deeper products. And I said the challenge with that is it's always the same people, right? The people that have the money, that have the successful agencies. And what's interesting is that's not always the people you want to reach. You want to reach the people that were a lot like me when I got started. No money, kind of half a clue, and trying to make everything work, right? And you don't have to have hundreds or thousands of dollars to do it. So that's kind of the premise. So I don't have the best name. I came up with 3-step lead generation because I like the 1, 2, 3 thing, the paint by numbers, that kind of thing. Really brief about me, you guys. I got started doing this in the 90s. I was a computer science guy at the beginning, pre-internet, 92 to like 95, 96. And I had a roommate right out of college, and his dad was a dentist. And it was great because he was from the town I lived in, which was Bradenton, Florida. And I wasn't from there. I moved there for the job, and we were always trying to make extra money. Like we worked for the government, we didn't make much money, and we were always looking to make a buck. And so we ended up building a website and doing what eventually would become SEO on the website before any of these words had even come about. Now, we didn't know it was SEO, but that was the goal, was to get people to find the website and call Dr. Richardson to, become a dental patient. And then since that time, I started moonlighting like a lot of you probably. I built an SEO agency, which was called Peachtree SEO, because I don't know why, but everything in Atlanta is named Peachtree. And then I built an apps, like more of a mobile local agency. And I've got a messenger agency and then a niche agency. And I'll tell you, if I can only do one, you guys, the niche is where it's at. And I am on the school board, my second term. And what really began as something quiet and simple that I could be involved in the community, man, school board went from underneath the radar to it's almost like I'm engaged in national politics. It's crazy. But all that aside, why 3-step lead generation? Let's just get into it. Let's get into it, right? All right. Why? Well, many people struggle, including myself, a lot of friends. Josh, I don't know, at the very beginning, did you kind of did everything just come together for you perfect at the beginning, or did you have an uphill battle, would you say, when you were first getting started?
Yeah, I wish. I mean, I
Right?
had a I had literally a 4-year degree. It took me 4 years to figure it out.
I love it, guys. Yeah, a 4-year degree. That's well put. I mean, the reality is, I figured out that it took me like 9 years. I figured it out in like a year. I just didn't make any money until about 8 or 9 years. So, um, go figure, right? But we're not alone, and obviously some of you can relate to what we're talking about. And I know Josh, during the call when he was speaking, talked about getting clients, and we're going to talk about that as well in a minute. Look, at the end of the day, when I talk to people, if I had 10 people, 6 or 7, probably 7, are going to struggle with getting clients. And then the other 3 are going to struggle with delivering results or value. how do they deliver results and value in a way that you don't have to like get on the hamster wheel, constantly do all this work and be at somebody's beck and call and not be certain that what you're doing is going to work, right? So like a couple will have this problem, and even the people that have a problem getting clients, if once they get clients, a lot of them are going to have this exact problem as well. So let's see. I like what Warren said. He said, Josh, he said it took him about 2 years with the system, then 8 years to get my own income without the system breaking. Guys, if you've been around a while, listen to what Warren said, Josh, myself, don't give up hope. This stuff works. All of this works. Like you, I've been in the same place. For real. Now, I had an SEO company. Let me tell you a painful story. Imagine pulling down from one client. Why don't you guys Google this client? Look them up. They're called Good Feet. They're a national foot orthotics company. Inserts like Dr. Scholl's, like those kind of, except they sell very expensive ones, $400, $500, $600, right? So I had 110 locations of this franchise, and they were paying me money every month. I was getting roughly $30,000 a month from this franchise, from all these different franchisees. And that's a whole nother story. I'll tell you that one-to-many way of getting clients is really good, especially if you don't like to sell, right? So I had this franchise and they were paying me a lot of money for traditional local search. And I was getting it done. I had it going on. And then one week, I want to say this was like 2014, early 2015, there was a Google change, an algorithm update that we're all familiar with. It literally caused every single ranking I had to go away. As a matter of fact, the company, they were at a corporate level, was working with somebody else. They ended up getting de-indexed. So not only did all the rankings go away, they were de-indexed. And I'm thinking, uh-oh. Because at the time, that was a lot of money for me. It was half my agency, truly half my business of recurring business was this one client, which you never really want, but yeah, right, John. John said penguin. So at the end of the day, I was freaking out. Now I will tell you, yeah. So the client was delisted. I had the 30,000-ish, plus or minus a grand, coming in every month. Now the good news for me was that I did solve the problem. And that's a whole nother story to get re-indexed, re-included. I got everything fixed over several weeks, but I left realizing that I'd been, kind of banging my head against the wall, and I needed a better strategy because my backbone of my agency, and if any of you knew me back then in like 08 to maybe 14 or 15, I was like 90% local search. Everything I did in my agency, anything I promoted as a marketer, 90% local search. Now, local search kicks butt. It works, 100% works. But I needed, Josh mentioned, I have 4 kids. And at the time, the oldest was like 13. The youngest was 6. I was knee deep in family. I was knee deep in all kinds of stuff, right? And I needed a strategy that would take me out of the equation of having to constantly monitor and constantly do work to deliver results. I needed something easier, right? Okay, so what was it, right? And I don't really know, right? I wasn't sure. In 2015, Google actually delivered what eventually would become the answer for me, or actually one of a few answers, but this one's just been an anchor for a while. They came out with this thing called local services, aimed at like home services businesses. And then Google, right? The name changes all the time. Google local services, Google local service ads. And it started to meet what was my holy grail. It had to be extremely easy to set up on the front end. Because for me, local search was easy. It had to be that. This was a big one, 100% results based. So I needed to be able to deliver without a shadow of a doubt results and charge the client for results. I didn't want anything nebulous that they could say, yeah, it's not working, or I had to tell them it was going to take 90 days, or I had to try to get reviews or any of that stuff, right? I needed a results-based model that would be somewhat hands-free. And then the last one in yellow there, it needed to be able to be tracked and measured, right? Think about it, tracked and measured. So when you combine all these things, sounds like mythical, really, like a unicorn, right? Easy, results-based, tracked and measured, virtually hands-free. All right, but let's take a step back. So give me a 1 if you agree with my first point. Business owners are used to paying for leads. Now, that's not every niche. For instance, restaurant business owners aren't used to paying for leads, but a roofer, an HVAC, a lawyer, those businesses are used to paying for leads, right? Is that fair? Depending on the niche. Now, many, but not all. It's very important you know, not all. Retail store doesn't, restaurant doesn't, etc. Yeah, Patricia agrees. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Depending on the niche. Now, there are exceptions, right? All right. Now, most, not all, but most are used to answering the phone. Now, depending on how old you guys are, I just turned 50 this year. I grew up with Commodore 64, VIC-20, the early Apple stuff in the 80s, BBSs, if you know what that is, video games that weren't really that fun looking, all that kinds of stuff. Cell phone, really, I got a phone in my mid-20s. Imagine children of today if they got a phone in their mid-20s. But business owners, whether they're 8 or they're 80 today, they get that they got to answer the phone. Most, but not all niches, right? There are some that's not true. So, all right. Now, this last one. Inbound phone calls are something every single business owner, they understand, right? They're used to answering it and they get it. Even if you find the client right now, let's say he's 71 and it's a husband and wife and they own this business and they don't know much about that internet. They don't know much about social media, but man, they know what the phone is, right? They get it. It's been a mainstay in their life since they were born, right? So these basics are true. Business owners are used to paying for leads in many niches, not all, right? They're used to answering calls more so now with pandemic over the past year and a half, right? And inbound phone calls are something that all business owners, they get, they understand, and it's not mythical, it's not confusing, right? All right. Yeah, Warren said, Brian, I agree with the inbound calls. Okay. Now, give me a 1 if you've ever heard the word funnel, and a 2 if you haven't. So think about ClickFunnels. We'll pick on Russell Brunson. Build a $100 million business out of romanticizing and showcasing the funnel, right? Think about what a funnel really is. Yep, everybody's giving me 1. Lots of 1s. Okay. So think about what a funnel is. You may have a funnel that goes like this. You may have a website that has an opt-in. We've seen that, right? Give me a 1. No, not a 1. Just say yes. Have you seen local businesses that have a website? They've got some call to action and, they want people to opt in or sign up as a lead or get their ebook or whatever it may be, get a quote, things like that, right? We've seen it. We've all seen it. Cool. All right. Now, what about a mobile funnel, a phone funnel, a telephone funnel? Let me think how I can do this. I'm gonna see if I can cheat. Hang on a second.
And Burgess Hallums, $50 to you. He pointed out floppy disks. Man, I remember those.
Right? Yeah. Josh, you're so young. You don't. Your parents had them. You don't remember the floppy disk.
Yeah, my parents had them. Yeah, I would always take them
Hey,
apart.
let's test Josh. Josh, I cannot remember exactly how old you are. I think I know. Do you remember America Online, AOL CDs being mailed by the millions to residences all around the country.
That I do remember. They had a few minutes on them, and we
Yeah,
would go and we had to take them from neighbors so we can get extra minutes.
I love it. Right? I used to do that too. I would get the free one. You guys get it. AOL and those CDs that were in every magazine and direct mail in the country, you guys. Okay. So, as old as AOL is, let's go to that funnel on the left. Desktop. Imagine your laptop, your desktop, a traditional funnel. Maybe you see an ad, maybe you see a organic SEO listing, maybe you see something on Facebook, piece of content, right? It doesn't have to be an ad. You click on this content or ad, it takes you to the website and or landing page. Now, I'm going to tell you the dirty secret that nobody wants to talk about. Roughly 3% on average converts. Out of all the traffic to all these pages, and I'll find the stat and give it to Josh. I had it. I forgot to attribute it here, you guys. But it's like 3% of raw web traffic to these kind of traditional funnels actually converts to lead or to sale. Right? 3. Now, so that means if Burgess, who just won the prize a minute ago, sends 100 visitors to my business, right? He's an internet marketer and he crushes it out. He sent 100 this week. Out of the 100 he sent, 3 may register as a lead. 3. Now let's look at the other side of the equation. Let's go old school. All right. You got a piece of content, an ad, organic SEO listing, whatever it may be. And in this case, here's what happens. The content, when you click on this targeted piece of content, an ad, if you will, instead of going to a hyperlink, www.joshuazamora.com, you would go from your phone, right? When you're on your phone, you would call 305-555-1234. And we'd get Josh on the phone. And guess what? Now, if I could send 100 each week, if I could send 100 phone calls with this funnel on the right, what do you think the conversion rate on those calls is? How many leads can I capture on the right? And I got a prize for somebody. Let's see what you guys come up with. What do you think? How many of the 100 on the right? Jeff Webster, 90. 65. Hey, John Munz. Sam said 20. Burgess, 99. 55% David. 45% Daniel P. Basil said 70. We do have a winner, though, and I'm going to name him in a minute. Marquis said 50. Brad said 30. Jeff said 44. And our winner was Sergey Dmitriev. Sergey said 100. And he's right. If I called your phone 100 times, would you have my phone number captured? You would. If I used call tracking on the phone number that was dialed, and these 100 leads that Burgess brought us, would they be tracked? They would. They would be tracked. They would be captured. That lead info would be captured. So instead of massive leakage out of the funnel, and this is what ClickFunnels deems to repair on the left, right? Instead of that, with this mobile funnel, ad content, direct to phone call, direct to capture. Now, it's only going to capture the people who call, right? So the answer is 100 on the right. So out of it's 100% if they make the call. And we're only talking about the people that visit the website page on the left or make the call on the right. So it's a very interesting distinction. Let me change gears. All right, let's change. How many of you have heard this phrase? I bet it's overused. You guys know it is. Know, like, and trust. Have you heard of it? Do you believe it's true? I'm going to tell you that you do believe it's true Let me take Josh as an example. Joshua, you know him, you like him, you trust him. That's why there's so many of you here, right? Know, like, and trust. It's important to understand it. And all of you are saying yes, right? Trust is key, Patricia said. Okay. So would you say, do people know who Google is? Sam, you don't even have to answer. It's stupid, right? Do people around the world, right, no matter where you live, in your town, in your city, your country, do they know who Google is? Obviously, the answer for 99.9% is yes, right? All right. Would they trust, if Google was selling to this local business, would they trust Google or Brian and Josh, or Google or Warren or Daniel? Who's going to get trust? Does the know, like, and trust of Google beat out Brian and Josh, beat out Warren, beat out Daniel? See what you guys say. Yep, yep, yep. All yeses. All right. So the strategy that I've been working on is based on exploiting Google. So following a model, I can set up a client one time and I only deliver the following 4 things. Highly geo-targeted. So what does that mean? Like Josh lives in South Florida. So Josh, in Miami, would you say that Palmetto Bay is a different market than, say, Doral? Is that fair to say?
100%. I'm surprised you know those two areas.
Yeah. So 87th and 12th over in Doral, I once worked. So I actually know Doral.
Oh,
I
got
used to go to an
it.
Ecuadorian restaurant on 33rd, and a Cuban place where I would have some tres leche. I can't remember how to say it, but it was good.
Awesome.
Guys, so in any city, there's local and there's hyper local. And that was the point we want to make. So hyper local is key. Now, would you agree if someone called Josh's company, right? And Josh owned a roofing business. Josh, you can do everything today, man. You own a roofing business. If they call you up, they have high buying intent, maybe even higher than if they clicked on your website, right? If they took the time to call you. I'm seeing the comments, you guys, right? So, all day long, Caston said. Yeah, phone calls have high buying intent. Now, part of my strategy is I only want people on their mobile phones, people on their cell phone, their Android, their iPhone. And I only want to deal with exclusivity. And the reason I only want the phone is a bunch of these stats that I'm not even going to read. You guys all know that most searches happen on mobile phone. People on mobile do everything, right? Mobile's the holy grail, blah, blah, blah. You know this. I'm not going to sit here and explain it and teach it to you. So, but I want to exploit people on mobile phones that are interested enough to make a call, hyper local and exclusive. That's what I want to do. All right, good. So, all I want to do, I want to simplify the process. We can agree, you already agreed with me, about 80% of you did, that business owners love phone calls. So when I do local search, right, I might use keywords to generate traffic to a website, and then hopefully some of the traffic calls. But I've been doing keyword with an ad that gets a call only a mobile call, only a hyper local call. So I've simplified, I removed a step of the funnel that had all the leakage. Then, like the light bulb went out. I got a colleague I work with, and I was talking to him, and the reality was, this is just easy. Because I set it up once, and the same ad that I do in Miami, I can do in Atlanta, in Dallas, in LA, in any city, in London, in Barcelona, in Kiev, it doesn't matter. The same ad, right? The same ad. So now I got to know the keywords, just like local search, right? I got to know the keywords. And then that's how I make the ad. It builds itself. It's literally, I type it in, it creates, because I have less than 0 design skills. And then I can generate the call, right? And that's it. 1, 2, 3. So earlier we were talking about how do you get a qualified client, or before I was on with Josh. So it really does work best for anybody in any service, doesn't matter, if you could narrow down your focus. Like, pick a niche, right? You've heard it a million times. The people that told you, they're right. Pick a niche. You're able to stand out. But what people often don't do is step 2. You got to have the killer offer. Some people call it a foot in the door offer, right? You got to have something that the value of it is apparently, or appeals to so many people, it's so high that people want it. Because look, at the end of the day, if most of us aren't really good at sales, especially going out, none of us are really going out meeting people right now. It's just not what's happening. So you got to have a killer offer, and you got to know how to approach them, right? Because I'm not really going to meeting anybody. I'm not calling them on the phone even. So how do I get the client? Well, first, for niches, if you don't have a lot of clients, you don't have a lot of revenue right now, I call it a super niche. One of the best is one called home services. Now, home services is that broad umbrella that makes up categories, niches like these. And this is just the beginning of home services, right? So I would recommend that you pick a niche where the businesses are used to spending money on marketing or leads or advertising, right? Doesn't matter what you're selling, but if you pick the niche, you niche down in a category like this, you're going to have an advantage. Catherine Wittich, she said, like, accountant's a good one right now. I literally just called my accountant the other day. I'm waiting on some taxes. All right, so this is a great example of the niche is step 1. Now, the killer offer is critical. So critical. If what you're offering is viewed as me too, if you can't build the value of what you're selling up, right? If it doesn't seem awesome, what do? If someone's hitting you up, imagine this. Have you gotten a call on your phone from an automated robocall about your vehicle's car warranty? If you have, give me a 1. Give me a 1.
Those guys are relentless, man.
Dude, they're unbelievable. Just epic, right? Epic, you guys. So 3 a day, Casted said. Okay, guess what? When you think of that, that is not a killer offer. I don't know who's buying that service, but it ain't any of us on the call, from what I can tell. Warren said, Brian, I get a call all the time. He said, 1, I don't even live in the US. So that's how crazy they are. They do not have a killer offer. Now, what if you could offer, right, what if they were offering something you wanted? What if the offer to all of you was $28,000 of free money, grant money, for every employee you had? So if you had 10 employees, you'd get $280K. Would you be interested to hear what somebody had to say about that? I'm just making that up. If somebody said, hey, there's a new program, you qualify, you have 10 employees, oh, you can get up to $280K. You got 10 minutes I can talk to you? That would be a killer offer, right? Funny enough, that's a real program, you guys. If you want to know about it, I'll tell you in a minute. Okay, so killer offer. Now, don't sell what you want to sell because you bought a course or you have an old product on your shelf. You got to sell what that business owner needs, what that niche needs. You got to take yourself and your ego out of the equation and sell what they need. And it has to be a killer offer. And then for the approach, this is what I've been trying to focus on. 100% results based. Exclusive. Exclusive's big, right? Everybody wants to have the only one. Think about in the crypto world right now, you guys, if you've been following this, even if you're not into crypto, you've been hearing about this thing called NFTs. You know why they're selling like crazy? Exclusivity. Think about it. And what if you could deliver results in under 48 hours? Guaranteed. It's result based. It's going to happen right away. Yeah, ERC tax break. Daniel, exactly. It's a complete no-brainer, right? Okay. So the client's never going to leave you. They're going to love you, right? It's a completely different discussion. And somebody said, well, what can you charge? Well, look, it varies by niche. Business owners are happy to pay monthly. Now, 500 bucks becomes $497 only because of internet marketing, right? 500 bucks to 1,000, sure. The client will either pay a flat fee to get the exclusive calls, or they will pay you on a per call basis. Does everybody get the difference? So if Burgess owned a car dealership and I said, Burgess, $1,000 a month, I'm going to generate leads for you. You don't have to pay me per lead, but that's my fee for doing the work. And he might be interested. Or I'll say, Burgess, for every exclusive call I bring you to your dealership, you're going to pay me $25. So there's no cap, right? And he might say, yeah, Brian, up to $3,000 a month, I'll do that, right? Or something like that, right? So this is it. What will they pay? Well, they can pay two ways. Flat fee, you'd be hard pressed to break $1,000. Some of you will. You're probably better salespeople than me. But on the per call, sky's the limit. So on the flat fee, getting $1,000, it's not bad. And I've been copying the old IM 997 craziness. You know why? It works. The perceived value is less than 4 figures. It's only 3 figures. Now, what if you did it based on per lead? Anybody know what contractors pay per lead? My brother is an HVAC contractor in Florida, not near Josh, but up in like the Panhandle area. He's paying $40 to $55 a lead. For shared leads, I think it's 42, exclusives in the 50s. So imagine if you can bring, Catherine said 70, Caston said 75. Imagine instead of getting a flat fee, if you got a variable fee, and your variable fee there was no cap, right? It is what it is, right? So 2 ways to charge. It all comes down to results, right? And all we're doing is a very simplistic, anybody can do it. I don't care if you got on Josh's list last week and you're brand new, you can do it. If you can go step by step, click, 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 you can do this, right? What's fascinating is it just comes down to results. And that's truly, that's where the whole idea was born from, with this 3-step system. And what I'll do, because there's a bunch of good comments and questions, let me just go over it. It'll take me less than 5 minutes, and none of this 30 minutes to tell you about it and try to give you a link 40 times. I'm going to give you the link once. I'm going to go over it in under 5 minutes, and we'll take your questions. It'll be super easy, piece of cake. So everything is based on a proven model. It's based on mobile. That's a lot of words up there. I'm sorry. Mobile is the dominant device type. So people that are making a spending decision are most of the time on their phone, their mobile phone. And I also believe that business owners know the value of exclusivity, and they know the value of an exclusive inbound call, right? And I believe that business owners and consumers, both sides of the equation, know, like, and trust Google. They do. Use it all the time. Agency owners, I also believe this, need a recurring service that doesn't require constant work and effort all day, every day, and sweating it. You need a service that requires little to no work after being set up, yet delivers massive value that's indisputable. Nobody can argue with you. So I built a very simplistic system called 3-step lead generation, and I'm going to get straight to the point in the next 2 minutes. Couple modules, breaking down the ideal service, explaining it, teaching it, giving you the fundamentals, some of which I did right now with you on the call today. Module 2, all meat, no fluff. 3 parts. Step-by-step, click, click, click stuff. If you like step-by-step, paint by numbers, module 2 is where it's at. Skip module 1. It's my Google call lead strategy. It's exactly what to do, paint by numbers. Bob Ross style, right? Is that the painter, right? Just you can't help but do it. Module 3, exactly what businesses to target and who not to target. And like I told you, restaurants, retail, not good. Home services, good, right? As examples. What else? Module 4, how much to charge? Funny enough, we just started talking about that a minute ago, right? Breaking down how much to charge. And, right, it always seems like the open roads ahead. You know, how do you get a client? How do you get them to pay? It's a lot of what we just said, but how do you kind of put it into action instead of being at 5,000 feet, right? We got a little bit down, but we need to get all the way down, exactly tactically what to do. So that's it. What you will get, your end result is certainty of revenue. I've done lead generation, traditional. I've done SEO. I've done Google My Business. I've done YouTube. Not very well, but I've done it. I did Facebook, still do. Now, all these work, every single one of them, but they have one thing in common. The results will vary, and they take time to get the results, right? So what I've been doing is I've added in exclusive mobile phone calls to the mix, hyper-targeted, buyer intent, exclusive. And now with 99% accuracy, I can predict exactly how much money I will make from those clients every single month. And I'd love to have you guys check it out, and I'll take your questions. It's very inexpensive. Launchspecial.com/3 steps. That's launchspecial.com/3 steps. And guys, what I'll do is ask Josh to help me, and we'll just break down some of the questions and answer them. And I apologize in advance. I paid a marketer. You guys will appreciate this. I paid somebody that's like their business is making these sales pages super long. Look, net. I just broke it down for you. Somebody said, Brian, how much? Well, you're in luck. It is not $9.97. It's not $4.97, $2.97. It's not $1.97. It is not even $97. You can pick it up for the price of a pizza, which is something I honestly never do. And I would love for you guys to be in there and be a part of it, put it into place. It'll complement anything you're doing. And truly, it 100% works. As a matter of fact, it works every single time without fail. So with that, we'll just start taking y'all's questions.
And I'm checking right now because there's also a coupon code on the top of the page, so you guys can get an even bigger discount. So go to that link, and there's a coupon code posted at the top as well. Make sure you use that. And $27, guys. That's what you can pick this up for. And well, 24 if you use the coupon code. So the coupon code is at the top of the page. So I mean, I told you guys, Brian is one of those guys that's just a wealth of knowledge, and you guys saw it. I mean, you know, obviously we could only cover so much in about an hour to 90 minutes. But once you get in there, really blow the lid off of this thing and see exactly how to get out there and put this into action with your clients and really deliver them results. And someone asked, can I use this to generate leads for myself, for my business? Andy was asking that.
Yeah, you know, you can. I thought about bringing it up and going into it, but you can. Now, I will tell you, just being honest, the answer is yes, with the caveat. There will be less people looking to hire you than looking to get their car fixed, their roof repaired, a new AC, if that makes sense. So the answer is yes, but there is that caveat.
Patricia made a great comment. She's like, missing a zero, but I'll take it for 27. Yeah, tell me about it. Many of you on here would have easily paid, 197, 297 to get access to it. But Brian is running a very special offer on this for what, you got another few days left on this, maybe?
Yeah, we're gonna
Two or
run
three
it.
days
I think just I can't even remember, man. I think Saturday.
All right.
I got to
Yes.
double
So a few
check it.
more. Yeah. So a few
I'll
more
double
days.
check it. I can't even keep up right now. I'm forgetting what day it is. It's Thursday, 3, 4. I get Saturday night. It might be Sunday night. I'll have to double check myself.
Perfect. So you have a few days, guys, to pick this up. $27. I mean, I told you guys it was, going to be very inexpensive, and compared to the value that you're going to get. Um, and he also asked, will this work on Bing? I think the course just pretty much covers Google, right? Which is the bigger
Yeah, I
one.
don't have anything. There's zero coverage on Bing. I don't want to speak to that one. It will complement, though, Josh, if I can say, I saw somebody ask about on the DFY suite side.
Okay.
Johan, absolutely. Think about yin and yang, right? Sometimes you're going to get results. I've been a big believer in blending and building bundles. If you rely on a single service, someone can compete with you on price and kind of steal your clients or cut your legs out from under you, right? By combining, and I'm a customer, so by combining DFY Suite with what we're doing here, you can build an offer that's different than what anybody else has and different than what any other customer will have seen. It's just a different way to package it up. But the answer to that is yes. Somebody asked about OTOs. Yes. There are opportunities for you to spend more money, of course. Now, somebody said, well, what would you do? I don't mind answering you guys. So I included as an OTO campaigns, the exact campaigns, everything. So you can literally copy the exact same ads that I'm doing for my clients. 100% verbatim copy them. There's no pictures, so you don't even need graphics. And I'm telling you, I'm not even good at it, but you can copy it word for word that way. So that is an upsell. There's an upsell for a software product that I have, and it's $1 trial, and you're welcome to try it out, but you don't have to. So I don't want you to feel compelled. But if I was you, and this made sense to me, if it was me, I would want the campaigns, just being real.
Yeah, I always love being able to really just like take a look at what the product creator is actually using, because again, you have the product, you go through the product, you're excited, and then being able to actually see real life campaigns, it just gives you that extra boost, and not just to be able to copy them, but be able to just model your other campaigns after that, just use it as a template instead of just plain old copying. You just always have that there as a template. So I always love picking up those upgrades where I can actually see the campaigns.
There's a good one, Josh, from Guillermo said, can you do this in Spanish? Now, my Spanish is not very good, but the answer to that is yes. You want to know a little secret? I think I even covered it in one of the training modules, but you could, like in Atlanta where I live in Atlanta, so there's a Korean community and there's a Spanish community. And there's probably one or two other ethnicities, but those are two big ones that I know of. You could do this method 100% in Spanish, 100% in English, or 100% in Korean, as an example. Now, why would you do that? Well, so if you lived in many large cities, there's very large Spanish speaking populations, right? Being able to bring Spanish friendly, Latin American friendly businesses, right? Targeted traffic in Spanish gives them a competitive advantage over another business that can't service those Spanish clients. You can 100% do this. And as a matter of fact, you can even guarantee that the only people that you would target, Guillermo, speak Spanish as their primary first language. So it's kind of a cool little feature. And I show you how to do it in the training. Not very difficult at all to do. Absolutely can do it.
And your cost per call will probably be way cheaper too when you're doing it in those different languages.
Yeah, it would go down dramatically. And you guys, yeah, your cost per call would definitely decrease. Like anything else, if it's related to Google, the quality of like your organic SEO, like the words, the content, would affect your cost on the call, right? So what we've kind of perfected is simply what words make the ad as cheap as possible. And let me explain why. So imagine Guillermo sold a client, and hang on, I'll put a screen up, you guys. So Guillermo sold a client, right? And let's just say this, and he got the client to pay $32.50 for every single phone call. What if he could provide calls for $11.25 each, right? Or, right, he used my upsell, my campaign pack, right? So he didn't have to reinvent it, and he could lower his price per call down to $801. So if you think about it, right, what you're trying to do is pay as little as possible and charge a fair market price. Obviously, you want the spread to be large if you're doing it on a per lead basis. So the quality of the content is critical. So like if I was to write about fishing, that might be good if I was getting calls for a fishing charter service. But if I was trying to get calls for a roof and my ad was about fishing, it may not work very well, right? It may not pull. So yep, I'll put it back up. Very important that you understand that. And it's one of those things that hang on. It's one of those things people don't think about, right? It's a simple concept, but people don't think about it.
And here's an idea too that just came to me as well while you were explaining that. One thing that you guys can do to increase your profit as well is say you bring on a client, English speaking client, targeting English speaking customers. But then you ask, you're a month or 2 or 3 months into their service and they're loving your service. So it goes back to them at this point. They know, like, and trust you at this point. They've been working with you for a few months. So in a few months into their service, you ask them a simple question. You ask them, hey, is there anyone in your company that can service Spanish speaking customers? And if they say yes, you'd be like, look, perfect. We can expand this service to target Spanish speaking customers, and I can get you even more calls by starting a Spanish campaign. And then you can charge them an additional, 500 or 1,000 a month to start a Spanish version of their ads. And then since they've already, been working with you for a few months, that additional upsell a few months down the line gets a lot easier because you've been already delivering results and they already told you they have someone on their staff that can take those calls in Spanish. So that just, right there, you can double the revenue from that same client just by asking that one question a few months into the campaign.
Yeah, that's super smart idea. Michael asked if there's a one-time fee or monthly. It's a one-time fee, Michael. And okay, let's see.
It could easily be a monthly fee though, so make sure you
well,
get in
yeah,
there. Only
one-time fee for me, but I would only sell it on a recurring basis. Yeah, let me make sure I say that right. Yeah,
okay,
and
I
so
thought he was asking about
I think I read it wrong. No, you're right. This is a one-time fee purchase from me, but when you sell it, it is 100% recurring. It's either per lead or a monthly fee. So yeah, you would only do it recurring. Fact.
Yeah. And there's a
Burgess,
there's a whole module in the course of how much to charge and how to structure and all that stuff.
yeah, we break it down. There's really two schools of thought. You can do a hybrid of the two. And I talked about it a little bit on the call. We just get a little deeper. I get into the ROI, figuring out exactly how low can you go or how to come up with the right price. guys, this is such a big point that Josh hit on. So Burgess, who's on the call, said he had a conversation with an HVAC guy in Southern California, and he was talking about done for you videos in Spanish. Guys, if you haven't thought about it, it's such a brilliant niche. You want to know how getting personal injury lawyer Miami is probably a tough term to rank for. My Spanish is weak. Josh, what is it? Abogado?
Yeah, abogado. Yeah,
Abogado Miami is going to be way easier than, attorney Miami.
or like you said, abogado Palmetto Bay, abogado Doral. All of those too, getting deeper into the smaller areas.
I love it, you guys. There is a question that says, where did it go? Nope.
Yes, there will be a replay for those of you that got on here late. Armando, Zoe, Michael. Yes, there will be a replay going out either by tonight or by tomorrow morning.
Somebody said, I missed most of the call. Can you give me the net? How about this? It's an exclusive service where you generate leads from people on their mobile phone that are hyper local targeted, and they will call the business owner. Every time they call, that's a lead, or you charge a flat fee per month. That's the 30-second version, right? And it's very simple to do. Somebody said, I'm new, can I do this? I promise you, if you can go and click step by step on something, you can copy. The way I did it was I tried to make it as simple as possible. And I taught the basics around it, but then I said, you know what the easiest thing to do is? Watch over my shoulder. And I literally just put a bunch of screenshots. Do this, click continue. Do this, hit save. Hit this blue button. Do this, then hit continue. It's that easy. If you can follow very simplistic 1, 2, 3, 4, those kind of instructions, then this is an absolute piece of cake. And somebody asked also, does this work outside of the US? Yes. So you can do this in Canada and Europe. You can do it anywhere in the world. I'm 99.99%. I will be honest, I have not done it in South America or in Africa. But you can do this. If Google is in that country, the answer is yes, you can do it. So as long as Google's there. So there might be like 3 or 4 countries that are not going to work.
And for the person asking for the coupon code, it's at the top of the page. So once you go to the link that's in the chat box or the one that I just sent out in the questions box, at the very top of the page, you'll see that they have a $3 coupon code that is expiring at midnight tonight. Okay, so it's going to give you an additional discount of $3, so you'll be getting for $24 instead of $27. But there is a timer on there, so you do want to make sure you pick it up before that to get that additional discount. And I mean, it really is a no-brainer. You're going to get access to everything in detail of what we just talked about right now. You're going to learn exactly the niches to target, what niches not to target, exactly what to charge, how to set up all of that. You're gonna exactly how to set up the campaigns, all of that stuff. And if you pick up the upgrade, you'll actually be able to see real live campaigns inside of the course. So everything is broken down step by step. And if you've purchased any of Brian's courses or software before, you know that he leaves no stone unturned. His support is top notch. So you are in great hands picking this up. And I think honestly, this might be the only course or offer that I've promoted of Brian that is at this price. Usually his stuff is $297, $397, $497, even $997. So this is really a special offer that he rarely ever does. For $24 you can get access to this entire course.
Yeah, I did it 6 years ago, and it was fabulous, you guys. I promise you. This is a good question from David. David said, "Hey Brian, who gets paid?" It's Google, right? So Google's getting paid. And then somebody else asked about what would you mark up? If I was doing it per call or per lead, PPL, I would do 4 to 5x. Somebody said, will they really pay $40 and $50? I encourage you to go on Google and look up prices for different contractors for exclusive leads, and you're going to be very, very surprised. If you don't want to do that, which you don't have to, and a very easy way to position is a flat fee. you'll charge a flat fee, and you'll deliver exclusive phone call leads at wholesale billed directly to their credit card. It's amazing how easy you can spin it is. So don't
And guys,
stress at
you
that.
gotta, yeah, you gotta remember too that some of these businesses have tried running Google Ads themselves. So, but they've tried running just regular Google Ads where they're paying per click. So they'll pay, $20, $30 just for a click, guys, just for the mouse click. They don't even know where that click ends up going, if the potential client ends up on their website or not. I remember when I was doing this for attorneys, they, Google was charging 75 to 80 bucks just for a click. Okay, so um, you know, there's so much potential when you're actually just like, providing a call, like Brian said at the beginning, where people are used to that, right? You don't have to explain to them, hey, look, we're paying for a click, and then we're going to optimize your site to try to capture all that. No, it's just boom, you run the ad, you get them phone calls, and it's simplified. Okay, and they understand that it's something that you can really, offer it to anyone, because the people that are, the younger people that prefer or understand technology a little bit better, they can still understand that their phone is going to ring if they hire you. Okay, that's just never going to change. And then obviously the older folks will also understand, because that's their language. They're like, wait, okay, I pay you, and then my phone's going to start ringing. Boom, let's do it. Okay, so such an amazing offer and service that you can do with this. So boom, there it is. Boom, 27 bucks. Look at that.
Well, I want to make sure that nobody misses this. And of course, I'd be happy if you made a mistake. I shoot you your $3, but let me show you so you don't get confused. There's a little button, and I don't control this, so I'd made it bigger for you. It says, I have a coupon. So all you got to do is click that button. It'll pop up. It'll look like this. And you're going to put in a coupon code, which was 3-step, right? Really easy, and hit apply. And it knocks $3 off. That's it. That's all you got to do. And then you check out just like anything else.
Yeah, they make that very kind of tough to see there. It's kind of
right.
small.
I mean, I didn't realize how small it was. If you guys can see how close my face is to the screen right now, I was like, oh, here's a really good question from Wayne. And let me put it up here. And then let's just address this one. Wayne, who also asked about the coupon code, which I appreciate, Wayne, he said, can we use SEO instead of ads? I would personally recommend creating a bundle, right, that combines SEO and ads. However, on the phone call side, could you do it with SEO? Yes. It would be very unlikely, though, that you'd be able to mimic the result. Because with SEO, what happens is people are going to click and they're going to go to a landing page, a web page, some kind of page. What we're doing with the ad is just a little hack of the system so that we only are visible to people with buying intent on a mobile phone in the area. And when they click the button, they never go to the page. They call the business. So the answer to Wayne's question is yes, but you wouldn't want to. What you would want to do is have a bundled offer where you maybe marry in the SEO, but then you have this component because it'll generate high quality results. And over time, as you guys know, the SEO value will build up. It does take a little bit of time. It is what it is, right? There's no real way around it. But it's not the end of the world. So all you do is you either pass the fee, and we show you how, pass the fee of the ad onto the customer, onto their credit card, right? And nobody will object, or you charge no fixed monthly and you do a variable fee that marks the ad up 4 to 5x. That's all you have to do. Truly easy. Oh, here's a good one from Caston. I'll get it ready, Josh. I'll let you. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I'll get Caston.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to kind of elaborate on this, because if you're starting with SEO first as a service, like Brian said, you can kind of do a hybrid or marry the two somehow. And what you can do is, if you're starting with SEO first, and obviously we covered a bunch of the SEO stuff last week and how to get rankings and all that stuff, so we won't go too much into that on this call. But what you can do is, if you're going to collect a monthly payment for SEO, what you can do on your own without even telling the client is take a portion of their retainer fee that they're paying you. So if they're paying you $1,000 a month for SEO, you can take 150 bucks of that and put it towards this system. All right, start generating them calls if they fit. Obviously, if they fit into the model that Brian covers of the different niches and the people that it would work best with. If they fit into that, then you take a portion of your fee and you apply it towards the phone call ads. Okay, and then boom, your client starts getting results right away. And what you can do, you could be like, okay, yeah, if your client calls you like, hey, I'm getting all these calls, what's going on? I bet, yeah, look, that's I was going to talk to you about that in a couple months after the SEO starts to kick in, but that's another service that we offer, which is running paper calls off a service as well on top of SEO, and boom, right there you can kind of lead them into that. So that's how you can kind of do that as well. If you have existing SEO clients now, boom, that's a good way to kind of transition into them, and you're providing value first because you're taking a portion of their SEO fee and applying it to the Google ads. They start getting a bunch of calls, they get excited, they're like, man, how is this working so fast? And then you can transition from there.
I love it. No, can't say. I don't want to add anything. That's just perfect. So here's a good one from Caston, who I believe is in Atlanta. Caston said, what's the initial cost to run the ad? The good news is the initial cost to run the ad is zilch, zero, nothing. You truly only pay for an exclusive geo-targeted phone call lead to the client. That's it. None of this impressions, no clicks to websites, none of that stuff, right? It's zero. Now, there's always a all right, how about this? I'm telling you all the good. Do you guys want me to tell you the negative? All right, nobody ever does that, right? Do you want to know the negative of what we're doing? The flip side? All right, this is the flip side. Here we go. I'm going to give you the negative because since nobody asked me, I want to tell you. All right, the bad about the method. If an ad to generate, I'm just going to write it up here and try to explain it right. If an ad to generate a click to the business site is $2.10, right? The exclusive mobile call ad will cost $6, $7, $8, $9, something like that. So it costs more. Now, I don't really care because I'm either not paying for the ad, not my credit card, right? I'm not paying for the ad, or if the ad is 6, I might charge 30. If the ad's 8, I might charge 48. You see what I mean? I am going to charge a mega premium for this lead because the perceived value of this lead is through the roof. But I need to be honest with you. The negative is when you generate a super high quality, hyper local geo-targeted lead, you will pay more than if you generated a random click to a website. It is what it is, but that's the negative. Now, I don't think it's that big of a deal because I either pass the cost on or I mark it up appropriately, and that's it. That's it, you guys.
Love it. So you pretty much have all your bases covered so that no matter what, you're getting paid.
That's 100%. And the other thing somebody said, what else? I did a little video on the, if you go to Josh's link, I did a video on the top of the page. This is the worst, you guys. I hate this kind of stuff. I feel like my face is in like mid-expression, but I net it out here if you want to listen to this after Josh and I get off the phone. It's like 2 minutes and 20 seconds. and you could listen to that and break it down. And then I did a second video on the page. If you go further down, it's like 4 minutes, and I try to explain it another way to people there. There's a bunch of bonuses. Guys, straight up, this works. This is at least a 997 strategy, proven blueprint. I don't want to twist your arm. You guys know if it's good for you, and if you think it is, then I'd love to have you. And if not, I'm glad you were on the call with us because it's been a fabulous call. And I need to get Josh. If I can get Sergi's email, I need to send him a gift card because he won earlier when I did that little drawing.
Yeah. He already emailed me, so I'll forward
Okay,
it
good
over
deal.
to you.
Yeah, I didn't want to forget on that.
Perfect.
But guys, this is it. It's 3 steps. You're partnering with Google. You pay nothing up front. It's 100% proven. It works 100% of the time. I gave you the negative, which I think is important to tell you. And I walked through some of the pricing, the getting clients. I would personally, though, I'll leave you with this. I would marry it with something like DFY Suite. I would marry it with maybe something on the video side, because when you combine powerful techniques together to create something completely new, nobody really can compete with you because they're coming in to do apples to apples, and you're doing bananas, right? It's completely different. So that's all I have, and I just want to say thanks, Josh, for letting me come on, and appreciate being here.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate you being on here as well. And one thing I want to throw out there as well is that um, you know, for I'm still sure that they do this, but for the most part as well, if you're a brand new Google Ads customer, I believe they give you some sort of voucher, right? Like $100 or something sometimes, where you can kind of use their money and they pay you. So like the first, $100 is on them, is on Google. So
Yeah, they
that
both throw them out. They throw those vouchers out, Facebook and Google, like crazy. Google throws out way more free money than Facebook, I'll tell you that.
yeah.
But you're right. I didn't even think about saying that, and you're absolutely right.
Yeah, absolutely. So once you pick it up, you can also do some Google searching for, Google Ads vouchers or whatever that may. Just don't pay for it. If you see someone online that's selling you them, don't pay for them. You should be able to find something, that can work. Unless, I mean, now that I think about it, someone might be selling some on Fiverr, so you can pay $5 to get 100. You just want to make sure you buy from someone that has good reviews. So if you do end up somehow on Fiverr and there's someone selling vouchers for Google, just make sure they have good reviews and that you can get that. But yeah, there are vouchers out there where you can get $100 to start playing with, and that's play money. Okay, you go through the course, you use the $100 vouchers, and you get the hang of it without even having to use any of your own money. All right. And yeah, make sure you guys get into this. Will be live up until there's a price increase tonight at midnight. So make sure if
Yeah,
you
so
can get
price
in there
increase
right
at
now.
midnight. Yep. And
Yeah.
and then Josh, the only other thing is that discount code also will expire at midnight. So it's good. You guys 3-step, you can use it. You saw how I typed it in, very easy. If you need any help, let Josh or you can let anybody on my team know, but it's very simple. You just type in the number 3 STEP. It's not case sensitive. So very, very simple.
Perfect. And Philip is asking, does Josh have a product to marry this 3-step product? Great question. So yeah, let me do as usual. Let me give you guys a bonus that just for coming on here live. So what I'm going to do is I'll do 2 things. Okay. Number 1 is, as many of you know, we are working on our next product called Studio. Since some of you were asking about done for you videos and done for you videos in Spanish, that product is going to allow you to create videos in just about any language you can think of. So I'll throw that in as a bonus. Obviously, I can't give any upgrades to that because this is just a $24 product that you're getting access to. So I'll give you the pro version of Studio once we release it. Jeff was asking about it. What's going on with it? Why haven't the beta members gotten access to it? So we did get a little bit delayed on it, but we will start letting people in there within the next 2 weeks or so. So that is in the works. I've already started playing with it. I mean, this product is easily going to be one of my best products to date. So you're going to get access to that. And on top of that, in conjunction to that product, we're working on our product called Copywriter, which will pretty much use artificial intelligence to write your ads for you as well. So that works perfectly with this product. So if you struggle with writing copy, and obviously, I recommend picking up the upgrade that Brian mentioned, where you actually get to see his ads. But on top of that, you can use my Copywriter app, which will write headlines and descriptions for you. So you'll be able to get access to both of those. Both of those are in the works. They're being worked on together because Copywriter has some features that are feeding Studio, kind of like the script writer, and we're gonna have a script a rewriter in there as well. So they're being worked on together at the same time. So you're gonna get access to the pro version of both of those. So that's even more of a reason to jump on this. But again, that will cut off on Saturday when this launch ends as well. So if you have the ability to jump on it today, you're gonna get it at the best price because that coupon code is gonna expire at midnight tonight. So you have about 7 or 8 hours left on that. And then my bonus will expire on Saturday when this launch officially closes, and I can almost easily see Brian charging $9.97 for this on a webinar 6 months from now. So you truly are getting a special treat on there. So I've just posted the link one more time, and once you do so, or once you pick this up, go ahead and send an email to my support desk, and I'll put my support desk in the chat box now. And yeah, besides that, Brian, again, thank you for coming on here and sharing your knowledge with our crew as always. For those of you that have picked this up, you're in for an amazing value and amazing training. And for all of you that showed up, thank you for being on here.
I love it. Thank you, Josh. And thanks for everybody being here. I appreciate you guys. Have a phenomenal day. Thank you again.
And I'll take one more question. Philip, you're asking about any OTOs. Yeah, we briefly covered that. There's a few OTOs. One of them is pretty much you get to see real live campaigns. So you'll be able to see the copy exactly Brian's campaigns. There's another one that's a software, which is on a $1 trial. So just go through them. I think there are several OTOs. So just take your time, go through them, pick up the ones that make sense for you. At the very least, I always like seeing real live campaigns. So pick up that one when you get to that one so you can actually see the actual campaigns that Brian uses for himself and for his clients. And get the software one as well. It's on a trial. I think it's just $1 trial. You get it, put it to use. If you see that it works, stay with it. If not, boom, it's just on a trial anyway, so you can cancel it. But yeah, besides that, guys, just take your time, go through it. Definitely pick up the main product so that you can get access to this course. He breaks down everything. Brian is one of those guys that leaves no stone unturned, and he makes everything very, very simple for you to go through. So you can easily go through the course between today and this weekend, and then just start implementing things. Look for one of those vouchers, get some free Google money, start putting it into action, and start getting results literally by next week. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this week's session. Keep an eye on your email for the replay, and I'll talk to you guys soon.